Toby, Trucks and Trouble is the 32nd book of the Railway series, and was first published in 1988. Written by Christopher Awdry, with illustrations by Clive Spong, it was to be the very last book in the series to be adapted for the children's television show Thomas the Tank Engine and Friends. It is also noteworthy that Toby, Trucks and Trouble was the first in the Railway series not to feature the word engine in its title, as all 31 previous tales of talking steam engines had. Only 1.5 of the book's 4 short stories were televised into one short episode of Thomas and Friends by Britt Allcroft and David Mitton in 1995. How faithful was this adaptation? Let's spot the differences. Special Attraction is the 25th episode of the 4th series of Thomas and Friends, making it the second to last episode of said season. It is based on Toby, Trucks and Trouble's second and third stories, taking 37% of its scenario from Toby's seaside holiday and 63% from Bulstrode. In Toby's seaside holiday, the old tram engine is daydreaming about his younger days working with his brothers at a harbour in East Anglia. Toby remembers that one day his crew took him to the seaside to be displayed as an extra attraction to a local village festival. He was repainted and polished, and on the way helped a Class Y14 Great Eastern Railway tender engine who was struggling with his heavy train.
Festival time is the best time of the year, the other engine said. Lots of extra trains and visitors.
The next day, Toby's driver and fireman sadly tell him the festival don't want him because he looks too smart and will show up the rest of the railway. At this point, we jump back to the present day, as Toby is awoken by his driver. I am inclined to believe that Toby's retelling of the story was embellished due to him dreaming. Either way, it is implied that the steam tram was asked to leave because when the station master sees him at the station, he walks away shaking his head. The reason why is your own interpretation.
Toby sighed as he moved from the shed. Well, I did get to the seaside, he murmured, even if it wasn't for long.
Special Attraction begins with Toby puffing away to the seaside. On the way, his driver explains why they are going, which is told to Toby before they go in the book.
One of the organisers thinks it would be a good idea to have a display of engines at the station as an extra attraction.
But what does a special attraction do? Oh, just smiles and blows whistles at everyone, replied his driver.
Toby questioning what a special attraction does was added to the adaptation. In the book, Toby claims he has never seen seagulls before, which seems highly unlikely given at that time he was working at a harbour.
I wonder what they are, thought Toby.
The tram engine's driver is told there is no room for him or his shiny new bell as soon as they arrive at the village station, while in the book Toby was parked in a siding for the night. Perhaps Toby's burnt-looking cab window is what got him turned away.
I'm sorry, old boy.
Bulstrode.
Percy, the small engine, is told by the Farquhar station master that he must go to help at the harbour immediately. In the episode, Percy is told this by the fat controller himself. Also, he and a dejected Toby are at Elsbridge, not Farquhar.
This'll be trouble with Bulstrode. Who's Bulstrode? Wondered Percy.
We are given a very mini character bio of Bulstrode the barge by the author, while in the episode, Percy's driver explains who Bulstrode is. The set for the following sequence is a lot different in design to the way it was drawn in the book. There is machinery instead of a beach, and the harbour wall Bulstrode is floating against is higher.
Come on. Why aren't you trucks where you should be? There's no engine, and we can only go where we're put,
shouted the trucks.
You're in the wrong place, not us.
The trucks are full of slate in the illustration. Percy pulls the trucks back up the sloping quay. The very same that the green saddle tank engine was pushed off.
Percy was sunk.
A coupling breaks and 4 of the 6 trucks Percy is pulling run away down the quay and crash into the barge at the bottom. This event differs considerably in the adaptation, however the outcome is exactly the same. Percy was not to blame for the accident in the book, but in the episode not only does he push all 5 trucks off the quay and into Bulstrode, but he ignored 2 warnings of the impending plunge. The first truck crashing through the buffers a good distance from the drop, and the truck's pleas for help.
Help! Help!
Save me!
Cried Bulstrode.
I'm drowning!
The reason Bulstrode doesn't sink, despite now having a hole in his hull, is explained by the author, as the tide was out. All 5 trucks are seen loaded onto another barge, but in the book the trucks that plunged into Bulstrode are dead, or rather broken up, as it is later said Percy takes them to the scrapyard.
The trucks were upset at losing some of their friends, but were very little bothered about Bulstrode.
The green saddle tank has to help clear up the mess he unintentionally caused, while in the adaptation, all he does is watch as the outcome of his carelessness is dealt with by others. Bulstrode is towed to a nearby beach and left there to rot. The author refers to the barge as the remains, as his father had done with Scruffy, the most troublesome of trucks. The story in the book ends here, while the episode finishes with Percy meeting Toby back at Elsbridge Station.
We've both had some seaside surprises today, laughed Toby. But Driver says that I'm a special attraction anyway, and so are you. All we have to do is smile and blow whistles at everyone.
What does that have to do with me drowning a disgruntled boat?
I don't know.
The other 2 stories not adapted from Toby Trucks and Trouble are Mavis and the Lorry, where the diesel accidentally collides with a lorry, and Toby Takes the Road, where the steam tram derails. Thomas, the tank engine, does not appear in this book, despite it taking place entirely on his branch line. After Series 4, Thomas and Friends abandoned the Railway series and continued for another 20 seasons, until the television series was rebooted in 2021 into an even more childish variation of the original format. Meanwhile, after Book 32, Christopher Awdry wrote 10 more volumes of the Railway series, between 1989 and 2011. It was time for the finest Coco to leave. He had seen everything.
But that's another story.